the season is in the book. AJ won again. But in all actual fact, are generally, I'd say, good Oscars. We're here to talk about it. AJ, Owen, and myself, being Ashley, to cover the 98th and I guess, the general season in itself with whatever. Oh, I sometimes hate the internet. The amount of people that are trying to thread their own narratives into what happened last night. You know, oh, this not winning's a disappointment. This this win's just a career thing. This win will age badly in years to come.
I,
On paper,
I,
I don't think there's that much that I saw last night that people should complain about. If anything, it was sort of maybe apparently the security not understanding who Tiana Taylor was, apparently. Whatever the hell happened with that.
I can't. Life's too short to deal with those people.
The
I
only one
can't.
I kind of agreed with was the face of gaming, Jeff Keighley, considering how crucial it appears his dad um, was in basically pioneering and championing IMAX, which is all about Coogler and Nolan. So, two of the two you know two Oscar nominated slash winning directors of the past, at least the last 3 years since 2020, not getting sort of named and whatever. I know they sort of have the in memoriam thing, but like, and then apparently the response from the Academy president was to block him on Twitter. Although the way Jeff said, sort of, I will never forget, it's like, well, he's just going to have Joseph Fares from that studio and say fuck the Oscars to be on it every year because that might be Jeff's own opinion of it now, considering how they snubbed his. I saw people complaining about Bridget Bardot, but I think that's the political issue as to why they might not have had her. Probably. But as I say, other than that, I think everybody else that sort of complained has their own ulterior motive to it rather than actually seemingly has like
Yeah,
skin in the game.
yeah. Award show criticism is like something I've not bothered with for like 10 years because it's useless. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So all
I did wonder if how people would feel about a condensed memoriam because of the tributes. I think normally in any other scenario, I would have said more people should have gotten more recognition.
Mm.
But if there was going to be one singular year where the memoriam went all out with tributes, this was that year. I think all of those were pretty warranted. And I think I know some people might think this is a poor consolation, but I feel like what they did there, in combination with the fact that I don't think SAG missed anybody,
Mm.
it felt like there was kind of universal coverage for the most part. I know SAG only covered actors, but at that point in the show when they said, and you can see more people here, normally I would think that's tasteless, but like this one time it didn't bother me. So, but I could see that being controversial.
I noticed
I
Brian
guess
in the chat saying, I think all of us are happy that the wins are better than last year for AJ's sake, especially with the one that he's happy to be wrong. We'll get to that.
I mean,
First thing
yeah,
I
this
want to
is
say to Bry is, I'm sorry. Considering the opening skit of the thing basically ruins weapons,
Yep.
and the clip that they showed from Best Editing gives away a major spoiler for the end or towards the end of one battle after another.
Yeah, it does.
What a decision.
I mean, not to,
I like verbally said I'm sorry, Brian, when that happened live.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention, I mean, there are some things that they didn't like blatantly say, so I'm thinking like the very last skit right before the credits.
That's also giving things
Well,
away.
Yeah.
But it's also like if he doesn't know what movie that's from, it's
Right.
not spoiled yet. Weapons
I
was
thought they were
obvious.
going to see, as Ashley knows because I was watching it with him. I thought they were going a different route when I saw a Office Space. Then they went, and then they went further into it, and I was like, okay, this is exactly what they're doing. This makes sense now.
But it also makes sense that he has such a connection with Jim Downey, and Jim Downey literally gets to play his part again.
That was super cool. I always do the I'm sorry, AJ, every single time that I watch a movie theatrically when I see a vomit scene because I'm used to it, and I'm either going to tell him about it before he sees the flick, or he's just going to see it before me and be like, "Ooh, I'm glad does the dog die exist?"
Yeah.
I swear at
But
some
this-
point AJ probably does the same and says, "Oh, sorry, Owen," anytime there's a sort of major thing involving a snake.
I guarantee it. Maybe not verbally, but I'm sure it crosses his mind.
Yeah.
But yes, on Brian's comment, this is the best set of acting wins we've had in a long time.
I wasn't displeased with nearly anything. There's things I didn't like because of my predictions, but by and large, I don't have anything to complain about this year at all.
I felt like as soon as I can't remember what exactly it was. There was a turning point where I thought, oh, I way overthought the predictions on this one.
Oh, you mean the fact that Brazilian skew is a work?
It appears so, but also just the idea of because I really am not thinking too much about predictions when the show's actually happening.
That makes sense.
So it's like when Madigan wins and when Jordan wins, it's like and Penn even because I love him too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like I'm not even thinking about the fact that I just lost 3 points. And I love the fact that more or less predictions did just kind of have to be safe, with the exception of live action Shore apparently. But it was still exciting all night.
Yeah, for sure.
It still felt like, because after Jordan won especially, it's like Sinners could still upset in picture. You could feel that. But
I didn't think that it would, but in the back of my mind, I was under the impression that it could.
Yeah, that's where I was at. Just the fact that it felt possible made it feel like there was suspense. I love that they brought the drum roll back. I feel like we haven't had that for a little bit.
Right.
This was a great fucking year to bring the drum roll back.
The introductions to the categories felt very unique too.
Yeah, it was. I know we kind of knew about it in advance, but I do love that they made the introduction of casting like an event.
That was cool.
Like a full introduction to a new category, since that's something we don't see often. Did you I know, despite what people might say, that nobody knows in advance except the people that counted.
Sure.
But when it opened with that skit, was your first thought? I feel like this is really good news for Amy Madigan that we're starting with this.
I literally said to Ashley, "This feels like basically like calling the spot. Like this is a good sign. I feel like this is going to happen."
Especially since she was the first category too, wasn't she?
It was.
To me, I felt the opening skit was like, okay, Conan's comfortable that we're moving into Billy Crystal territory. And that we're sort of, making fun of the movies of the year by having the weird inserts. But that being said, shout out to whoever did the animation on the
K-pop Demon Hunter.
Gladys, the Gladys Conan
Yep.
K-pop moment.
So it was mentioned today, and I don't want this to be glossed over because I feel like we mentioned Billy Crystal, and I'm a Letterman mark. Everyone knows that, but his time hosting the Oscars wasn't the greatest. I can't defend that, but I will say Billy Crystal has been the host of all hosts, and Disney went on record today saying, as long as Conan wants it, he's got a job as long as he's able to be a host. So as long as Conan wants to come back, he'll come back every year. Well, until this YouTube thing happens in 2 years, and then the world explodes, so it doesn't matter. So
that is especially funny given that they went with the the ending that they went with.
it was appropriate.
I assume for Brian's sake we're going around what movie that is.
I will say it's funny because I don't know if you saw it or not, but Jimmy played it up on social media too.
Some of the other stuff,
as he should.
Some of the other stuff in chat, Josie says, "What a great season! Thanks for sharing the fun time with me." But it's technically not over because Josie will be doing her Oscar, her personal picks in the one that we're doing at the end of the month.
Yeah, just in time for the 31st, Josie.
And then Brian will be doing some stuff in April as well. Also finished Rusting Busted by Jem Gemmenhart. Fantastic book. Follows a kid who lives in a nursing home with his grandpa. The nursing home is about to close and encounters an elderly gangster who helps him out. Yeah, so Bryce says, I was spoiled by what movie the ending of the show was. I was just thinking at the time, please don't let it actually be Mr. Beast. Also, Bryce says the marathon will be either late April or early May, and then I don't know what character in one battle and another dies at the end, except for the editing clip, but I might forget the clips from the ceremony in a few weeks or in a month whenever the marathon happens, so.
Won't matter, you'll be able to see it and it'll be fresh in your mind, so it'll be even better.
Oh, we could say this later, but I don't want to forget since we're talking about clips. Do you realize how fucking psyched I am? They used the Michael B. Jordan clip I wanted them to.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's like, how are you not using that one the whole time? they barely played the clips,
right?
But it was there, so that I'm happy about that.
All the others used the same clip over and over again, and when that clip showed up as the example of screenplay, I was like, my God, somebody's doing something different.
I did love that when they did the screenplay clip, I knew him saying "fuck that" was coming, and I was like, that's an interesting one to use, knowing you're gonna have to censor. But okay, I'm good with that. Side note on Sinners, it was just announced before we started that Jack O'Connell's going to be in A Quiet Place 3, and I am so excited.
Wow, there's so much overlap. I don't know. It seems very like on point for the time being. Like I don't know, like something possibly could be coming in the future. You never know. Who knows?
What the hell is going on with A Quiet Place? Somehow crossing over with the 28 franchise.
That's interesting.
Cillian Murphy was in part 2.
Murphy's in this one too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he is. Kind of.
I mean Murphy's confirmed Rourke plays 3 too.
Oh, nice.
So many carries over. Next, you know. Now we just need
I
Quiet
would.
Place 4 to have Ray fight.
I was gonna say I was so excited about the headline I didn't put that together until you said it just now.
Yep.
I guess so. Are we bouncing around or are we going in order?
Well, I was trying to go in
So,
order because obviously that sort of the skit was good at the start. Conan's sort of monologue and then leading into
oh, phenomenal.
the Josh Groban I won as it's now being called.
I thought that was great. See, Ashley, this what I'm happy about this, and it's also because of how pure hell last year was. I will stress that this was akin to the old like Tonight Show late night bits of Conan's past, and that's why I love so much about it. He's such a fantastic host, and he just knocks it out of the park, like straight up for the second year in a row.
It seemed especially. This is another one that's going to be off the timeline here, but going on the Conan and it feeling like his old bits thing.
Mm-hmm.
It did feel like having a Grogu that can't clap kind of felt like one of his things.
Absolutely.
The only trouble is that the crowd was dead silent during that bit,
Right.
and the only thing I could think is they were still bummed out from the memoriam
Possibly.
because it was the first joke right after the memoriam, which was like heartbreak after heartbreak. It's like I feel like they were still recovering from the memoriam when we were doing that bit, and that's why it sounded so silent.
It's very possible.
So, and whether he was in London or not, I'm not sure, but Matt Berry did a good job announcing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't need to hear him say Burger King that many times.
Yeah, I had Buffalo Wild Wings for the event like I usually do, but it almost feels like I should have been eating Burger King because that's what I was being bombarded by every 5 seconds.
I mean, I
God
only went
forbid.
with KFC because it's the closest thing to a chicken shop because of chicken chop girl doing all the
I had
the
KFC
pre-show
today,
stuff.
actually. Ironically enough, I had KFC for Revolution today.
So yeah, first out, Zoe Saldana presenting Best Supporting Actress to Amy Madigan.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
Ed Harris gets to be another meme. 25 years on.
I don't know. I guess this is the thing now. I'm a very sentimental person, I think. Which
Same.
means I really like traditions and stuff like that.
Certainly.
Why are we doing the thing now where it's not the opposite gender winner from last year? Does it? Why are we just doing I won it last year and I'm doing that category? When did
Maybe
that?
it's
Why are we doing? Because I was so fucking psyched that all 4 winners actually showed up because it feels like that's getting more rare.
right. It won't
And
be
then
happening.
and then we didn't do it the traditional way. And I heard Kieran Culkin was really looking forward to giving someone a trophy. He could have very easily given Amy Madigan hers.
Yeah.
but it's like no, we're gonna do the put them in their category thing. I know that probably doesn't matter to anybody else, but I just it was a tradition and I liked it. Why aren't we doing that?
I see where you're coming from. Yes, I'm so happy this happened. It's funny, Madigan was the only one I had in August for my predictions for supporting actress that actually made it.
Oh wow.
Thought that was crazy. I'll go through it real quick because I actually have it in front of me right now because I wanted to make sure that I had some fun with this one. Best Supporting Actress, I had Ariana Grande, I had Laura Dern, Io Debris, and Emily Blunt was my original lineup with Amy Madigan.
I really love. I'm gonna be jumping ahead here again. Sorry.
That's fine. The last show of the season. Let's go.
What a night it was last night to be a horror fan.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm gonna watch a horror movie in April. And then I'm gonna watch Weapons was July, I think.
I have the list, but I don't
Around there.
recall what it is off the top of my head.
Watching a horror movie then, and then going, whoa, who's this character? And then it's like, oh, like 15 minutes into the performance, it's like, oh shit, that's Amy Madigan. That's wild. And then
Into it.
in April and presumably July?
Weapons was August 7th.
Close.
Yep.
And just, I don't know that I could have ever thought in either of those moments I was watching two of the acting winners.
No.
Like, it would have never crossed my mind. And I do my horror marathons in October. I watched Sinners and Weapons again in October. As recently as October, I would have never thought that. I know there was hope and buzz for Amy Madigan, but I was thinking, and I think I was still predicting her at the time, but I was in the back of my head, I was like, that just seems too good to be true.
If we include the Frankenstein stuff,
Yeah, that's true.
8 out of the 24 Oscars were won by horror.
And I also want to shout out Zach Kreger.
Oh God, yes.
I'm so glad he was there because there was an interview a while back where he got kind of emotional when it was just talked about that she had buzz at all. And so for him to be there to witness her actually win is incredible and beautiful.
It's just something he wasn't sure if it was going to happen or not. Maybe it was just wishful thinking on all of our parts, but it just kept going and kept going and kept going, picking up more steam, and then missing across the boards in the beginning. And it's like, oh no, it may not happen. And the next thing you know, it's just kind of like, hey, by the way, she's here and she's actually in this. Oh, she's won something. Okay, this is very important. Oh, wait a minute, she won something really important. She's actually challenging for the win now.
Even after, I know I said I didn't predict her based solely on superstition, which it turns out might be even more true now.
I'd say so.
But yeah, even though it was mainly I wasn't predicting her out of superstition because I wanted her to win, but also even after SAG, I was thinking it has to be too good to be true. But if there's one time I love being proved wrong, it's during award season.
For the most part, I agree with you. Sometimes I just get really stubborn about things, but for the most part, I do enjoy this.
Then we had Batman and Superman.
Yes.
Doing the animated categories.
Shout out to Jane Lynch for the comedy bit with Conan.
Yeah.
With the tactical flashlight, Beam Pro.
I just hate how true that bit was.
I know. It really was. Coming to Whatnot in the near future.
This was the first year I watched them on Hulu.
Nice.
I want to say their first Hulu year was just last year, wasn't it?
I think so.
Clearly I didn't. But yeah, I was concerned like how are the ads gonna work? But yeah, it was just like watching it on ABC basically.
Which I tried to watch it on ABC on my own end, and I tried to watch it on Hulu on my own end, but I found out that apparently the version of Disney Plus that I have access to does not have access to Hulu, and I couldn't find anything. But I could watch the red carpet, but I couldn't watch anything beyond that. So me and Ashley had a nice little watch sesh
I don't know whether
over this
the
very phone I'm watching right now and my tablet.
I don't know whether the feed that you had, AJ, had a bit more Pfizer than we had,
I don't think so.
because the supposedly Pfizer was like something that they were going to push more on the Disney Plus side than what broadcast on ABC.
There was some. I don't know if I noticed if it was like overkill or not, but
Yeah, it did pop up, from
Several
time to
medical ads.
time. So
I also just kind of tuned out whenever there was ads.
although when the Lily bit happened, I swear when we come back, and then they go to the commercial sort of right before the Oscars, randomly for some reason, as if it's blooming Grey's Anatomy or The Pit, Conan in a doctor's coat with a stick pointing at X-rays to, like, I guess the people that were basically the usherettes, on the stage for the people winning and whatever. That was just like, it's the only time it happened, but I'm glad that I saw it, because all the other times it was just some generic, oh well, that's just the thing they do at the Oscars sort of thing. It was just randomly Conan in like a doctor's jacket going, yes.
So actually, all it was just giving everybody the Iggy that was paying attention that Will Ospreay was going to come back last night at Revolution.
Ah. I mean, he already
Perfect
came back.
sense.
It's Pro Wrestling Eve, but anyway.
He came back to AEW television. There you go.
So yeah, animated feature.
Always nice seeing Channing Tatum.
Animated feature went to K-pop Demon Hunters, of which I'm trying to work out that woman's line of, like, the wording I think she used was seeing people like us in a film like this.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing something that was a generally positive view about Korean society rather than Parasite, which is obviously grey. It's not black or white, it's just very grey. But it was like, seeing people like us on the screen, and I'm like, Parasite won Best Picture less than in within the last 10 years. No, we've seen plenty of, what, Drive My Car. So, hang on, no, Drive My Car's Japanese. What was the other one from a few years back? I'm not talking No Other Choice.
I'm Still Here.
No, specifically Korean. Or was it? Oh, I'm trying to remember.
For sake of argument, I was talking about international features, so there you go.
And then animated short going to The Girl Who Cried Pearls.
See, it's a deserving win. It is. I thought I'd go with a little more levity with my prediction of retirement plan, but yeah, The Girl Who Cried Pearls made sense.
Moral of the story is there wasn't a bad option, despite your feelings on Butterfly.
I wasn't big on Butterfly, but I don't necessarily like doom and gloom when it comes to animated short, which is normally at least a third of them. So the way they were building it up, it felt like the Three Sisters had a chance to win.
Yeah, well, I mean, The Girl That Cried Pearls is a little gloomy until it goes that direction, and then it's kind of something else.
I agree with that.
It's even made more gloomy when you consider that a fair few of the people that actually worked on that thing were laid off by the Canadian government because it's all part of the Canadian National Board. And then it's the irony that is Netflix basically trying to reinforce that because, oh, well, you don't need your own thing, you just need us to do the stuff for you. So a dichotomy in the animated wins, because it's like one's trying to kill the other off. That ain't awkward at all. Next, we had first surprise in that Anne Hathaway wasn't alone. Anna Wintour just came out, was looking like she didn't want to be there, put on the glasses, and said, "And the nominees."
I should have known. I literally had I didn't look at the list of presenters, so I didn't know who was there and who wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally had the thought, somebody's got to be there to do a Devil Wears Prada 2 thing, right?
Considering that was rumored, yeah.
And my first thought was, wouldn't it be nice if it was Blunt and Streep?
That would have made more sense.
And it was literally, well, not only was it basically the other two people it could have been besides Tucci, but her still getting a shout out there was nice. when she calls her Emily by mistake. So I feel like, almost like saying that's what this should have been. But no hate on Anne Hathaway or anything, but
Mm-mm.
I as a fan would have loved that. But I'll take the shout out.
So then we had both costume designer, makeup, and hair both going to Frankenstein.
Was there anything in this season not related to K-pop Demon Hunters that was more abundantly clear than Frankenstein doing production design, costume design, and makeup?
Apparently, Avatar and visual effects, unless you're me.
I mean,
But yes.
I felt makeup and hair could have been. It might have been more closer than we thought between that and Sinners, with a lot of the practical special effect makeup that we was in that. But yeah, certainly on the costume design front, it seemed like Frankenstein was a shoe-in for most of it, and given that all the other credible contenders never even made it to the Oscar 5, production design also seemed a little shoe-in, yeah.
I've said what I've said this season about Frankenstein being underwhelming. The costume design's fucking awesome. So
Mhm.
I do actually love that win.
I did like the montage
okay.
where everything on costume had, like the designers' designs and drawings. And then we got to Marty Supreme, and it was just people walking about in costumes. Nobody even decided to draw a fucking thing for that. Like, just show Timothy with an unbuttoned shirt and a vest. That's costume, right? I'm not drawing that. Shit, got a Primark. Like,
Also, I've never been that crazy. Not to discredit these people or anything. One thing I found particularly underwhelming about Frankenstein was Elordi's makeup.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of blew my mind when they said he spent like a total of 400 hours in the chair for that.
I mean, that's a lot to look like a black and white and gray crash test dummy. So
But congratulations to them regardless.
yeah.
sure.
I will say the fact that even though I know it's her and I'm looking hard, I still can't fucking see Mia Goth when I see his mom. So we can say a lot of it's for that too.
I'm sure of it.
Then, as I expected, we had Mescal, Paltrow, Infinity, Moore, and Lindo.
That was cool.
5 introductions for casting. With casting, of course, going to one battle after another. And Cassandra's great speech where it's like, hey, look, I got one before PTA. It was like, holy shit.
That's what we call foreshadowing.
This is another one where I guess there wasn't a wrong choice.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But I was thinking how much I do love this win, because there's so many like random offbeat characters in that movie. When you think about the casting process for the Christmas Adventurers Club and all like the French 75 and all of these sort of random people that come in and out,
It's
I do think that's a great one. Also, I think she's got a lot of industry cred as is.
Mm-hmm.
There was a great moment when they were talking about her at one of the SAG roundtables where Chase Infinity and Jesse Plemons were there. And Chase Infinity was kind of talking about her and talking about the process of being cast. And Jesse Plemons like lit up and talked about working with her when he had to audition for the Master.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you could sense there was a lot of respect for her that goes back, which probably should have been a clue
yeah.
who would win. But again,
But
it's a new category. You don't know how to approach that prediction wise.
Exactly. I was about to just say, actually.
Then I think that's where we had the other skit where clearly trying to send up everything about it and about the whole YouTube thing and having the 6-7, awards maxing sort of thing. Which I think basically pissed off and made everybody laugh at different demographics of that. So it appeased and pissed off everybody. It's brilliant. Which then led us into Camille Nanjiani with having looked at the history of these, the most semi-lackluster announcement of a tie in the history of the Academy.
I did like his ad lib about the short categories twice as long. It was the kind of ad lib in the moment that made me think, yeah, I'm excited to see him on Taskmaster. I really we need to get to that as soon as possible.
So yeah,
Which I'm assuming is in the next month or two.
Of course, what was also interesting about this is there was clearly a lot of people in the crowd. Well, no, because that was documentary short. That was the thing. So yeah, live action short went to. In hindsight, I should have realised where we were going with this, because it basically they presented them in alphabetical order, and as soon as they said the first one was the singers, I was like, that probably means two people exchanging saliva as the other one, unless they really wanted to sort of spring a surprise and like say them out of order, but they didn't.
By the way, what two wildly different choices for a tie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also nice when you are doing predictions, and me and Ashley can attest to the fact that it's fun when between 5 titles there is a tie and you still didn't get it.
yes. And I had to go with the one I didn't like of the entire group in order to get that point.
I assumed we're counting that, and it's not to have the prediction right. You have to have predicted the tie.
No.
Ashley called it. As long as you predicted, it doesn't matter if you got a tie or not, because that's like betting on green on a blackjack table.
Yeah,
bet on red, bet on black. Bet on green.
That has a definitive result. It's not like, somebody's chiseled down something on the bloody roulette wheel and it's like, well, part of the ball's in green 0, but part of it is also in black 13. I know they're not next to each other, but I'm trying to do the example. So it'd be,
Point.
That's the sort of,
I did despite the fact that that's how we do it, I did still appreciate Conan's joke about how many Oscar pulls that must have fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to say that I got that point on the
What
wonderful
the hell does that do
Yahoo.
to? Does that just like screw up Polymarket? Because it's like there's only supposed to be one win.
I got the point. I was doing the Oscar pool that was through Disney's website, and they gave me the point for getting two people exchanging saliva.
Nice.
So yeah,
What would be really fascinating if somehow, on the charts, it's like somebody did actually predict it, so they have 25 out of 24, and it's like the actual hell.
that's impossible because they don't give you a chance to vote for two things on most pools.
And then in hindsight, because I was like going, interesting what's
Okay.
going on here. And then Kieran Culkin comes out. Sean Penn wins. He isn't there. Turns out for an actual legitimate reason because he was in Ukraine with Zelensky, as it's now
Yep.
been revealed. But in hindsight, even at the time, I was like, well, if he was to win and not show up, it still means you've had 24 awards acceptance speeches, not 25. It's just live action short covered for Sean not being able to be there. So
Hey, and if Sean Penn wants to go see Rick Moranis somewhere in Ukraine, that's fine.
Wayne
Comedy.
Zelensky. For the people that don't get it.
Comedy for me is still comedy.
Yeah. So I guess everybody who made that joke, I guess. Well, here's the thing. My first thought was, oh shit. And most of those people probably knew that's where he was, which may have even helped him get support. But then it was like, well, wait. Kieran Culkin made the same joke we all were making, that he didn't want it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess we feel a little like assholes, but it's also appropriate because I don't think we ever said this explicitly when we were talking about it, but when we talked about he gave his other two Oscars away,
Mm-hmm.
that was to Zelensky.
Right.
So it almost kind of comes full circle that that's where he was last night.
So this is when I give you the power of AJ. AJ has been a curse in the past. He himself will say that. AJ is also at times one of the most persuasive people on the planet. So let me lay this out to you guys. You'll watch the video back, and you can definitely see it happen in real time. You would know unless you knew, but I had Sean Penn originally. He was my original choice. AJ and Ashley both go Delroy Lindo, and I'm like, maybe, yeah. Sure. So I came up with my little speech I did on, like, of course I don't have a script or anything. I'm literally just thinking off the top of my head, and I was like, yeah, okay. I didn't think I would go with Lindo, but yeah, they talked me into it. Sure,
to
awesome.
be fair, it's clear that Delroy apparently had opinion on the issue.
Yeah,
because people looked at it and it was like when Sean Penn was announced, Delroy was just
didn't-
like that.
he just kind of
Everybody
knows
else
hold it.
clapped and Delroy was not clapping.
Well,
So yes, that is the power of persuasion, because I had Sean Penn and I changed my mind because such a compelling argument from everybody else on the panel.
I don't typically take big swings in acting like that.
No, you don't.
I don't know what came over me this year.
Again, you compelled the entire panel to swerve your way.
Yeah, but
And I had no camera on me saying I had Sean Penn the whole way, so you could probably say I'm just lying to everyone, but I swear to you, I'm not.
What makes me feel good about it is two things. Number one, of those five, I would have voted for Penn.
I would have voted for Penn too.
He was my favorite of the nominees, and he's one of my favorites of the category in that year.
Certainly.
You saw the last video we did.
Yes.
But also, I'm also comfortable in the fact that I didn't know this till after the fact, but I was clearly not the only person thinking that way.
No, you weren't.
So that makes me feel better.
Did you see that Variety of all places called Lindo?
I mean, it seemed like but again,
Somebody's watching the Popcast network.
he's lighting up cigarettes at the Globes looking miserable, and then just doesn't show up for anything else. You think he stopped giving a fuck. I honestly, it should have. It did not occur to me. Oh, he's hanging out in Ukraine right now, because that's what he does.
Yeah.
That's what he spends most of his time doing, is being in other countries that are in turmoil. So
He's a brand ambassador for world peace, even though he is Sean Penn. Seriously.
oh my
It's
god,
true.
I want a shirt that says that.
It's kind of like one of those written and directed by Quentin Tarantino shirts you see every once in a while now that other directors are getting, and it's like, yes, that'd be great.
I want a picture of him looking like his disheveled self. It says he's an ambassador of world peace, even though he's Sean Penn.
It's like our version of the Nick Nolte meme. It's exactly what it is. Someone create that, please, that's listening to us live right now or an archive.
I've known you for a long time, and I think that's one of the funniest things you've ever said.
Yes. If I can pop myself, great. If I can pop others, then my job is done. But it's also true. I like this next Conan bit greatly. The Casablanca bit with Sterling K. Brown.
It's, again, like the Jane Lynch bit. It's funny because it's funny, but it's also so sad how true it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've still got PTAs and Kuglers and everybody else out there, so it's not like this is like destined to be our future, but it's like to know that, because there's shit movies in every decade,
Yes.
but to just think about artistically the difference between like the writing of Casablanca and what Netflix is popularizing.
And people wonder why I'm against streaming for stuff like this.
We didn't mention this, but I think my favorite joke in Conan's monologue was the one at Ted Sarandos.
I hate that man. Not as much as I seem to hate Tim Robinson, but it's quite up there. And yes, every time I see Sterling K. Brown now, it makes me more and more excited for Is God Is. I cannot wait for this movie. It's going to be amazing.
And of course, Downey Jr. has to be in a green suit because, Doctor Doom! Get it? Although that led to sort of a crazy spot in between adapted and original. With the whole, I got you Magic Mike's thong. And bloody Channing just in the crowd like, have that back please, I need it.
What? I wasn't really into that bit until Channing Tatum did that, and then I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
We have a Marvel reunion. What's it going to be? Oh, it's just Iron Man and Captain America. Okay, sure, whatever.
Well, I mean, and Coogler, eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're me, that's not a selling point.
I know he's gotten a lot of credit since the Jump Street movies, but still, every time I get a chance, I want to shout out how good Channing Tatum's comedic timing is.
Channing Tatum's fantastic. That's why we put him over in Roofman in our predictions.
Yeah. In our personal lineups.
Our personal lineup video that's available on this channel right now. Thank you for everyone that's checked it out and will continue to check it out through this off season.
Then the extended in memoriam started with Briley Crystal going through Reiner's filmography, and of course the work that his Rob's wife, who was also a producer on things, was involved with. And then the sort of the semi-cast reunion of God knows how many of Reiner's works over the years.
I mean, I want to shout it out because thanks to Wikipedia, we actually got it. Kathy Bates, Annette Bening, John Cusack, Christopher Guest, Carrie Elwes, Michael McKean, Carol Kane, Demi Moore, Jerry O'Connell, Mandy Patinkin, Kevin Pollak, Meg Ryan, Fred Savage, Kiefer Sutherland, Will Wheaton, and Daphne Zuniga. All on the stage to celebrate the career of Rob Reiner. Phenomenal. I don't know where Harry Shearer was. That's one thing that was weird to me. But he wasn't there.
It looked like they wanted 2 people per movie, maybe.
That would make sense.
Well, Harry Shearer
'Cause
could have been there because Spinal Tap 2. It's a different movie.
Oh, some people were making a thing about it. This is like a whole subculture of the internet we won't go down, but the fact that it was Will Wheaton and Jerry O'Connell without Corey Feldman.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like immediately there I was like, they probably want 2 people per movie is what I was thinking.
That makes sense.
They went with.
Then Rachel McAdams being the surprise because Crystal was rumored along with Streisand. I didn't hear anything about McAdams, but McAdams doing the tribute to a lesser extent Bardo and Diane Ladd, but predominantly Diane Keaton and Catherine O'Hara.
I had heard that her and Keaton were like really close after doing The Family Stone. And then like she said, O'Hara being a fellow Canadian.
It would have been nice to have Eugene Levy do that, though, honestly.
He might have turned it down or something.
I have a feeling he may not be in the right headspace to do something like that this soon.
Yeah, because it's still she's especially still pretty fresh.
So I have a feeling that'll probably come in the future. But yeah, that would have broke me. And that's saying something considering this in memoriam was so fantastic.
And then Streisand. Streisand. Thanks, Licorice Pizza. First talking about Robert Redford, and then eventually going into a verse or two of, a little bit of Singing the Way We Were.
You seen the Jane Fonda pushback earlier today? Talking about how many movies that Jane Fonda did with Robert Redford and did like 4 or 5 films, and she only did 1, and it was kind of like a tongue-in-cheek thing. It's like, oh, I have a lot more I can say about Rob. Can't tell if that was a work or a shoot, but she seemed kind of like saying it in jest, but that's definitely something that crossed the mind. But getting Barbara Streisand on the Oscar stage again was pretty extraordinary.
I feel like with Fonda you can't quite tell.
No.
But I think I imagine it's mainly first off what she said was really touching, but also the fact that with Streisand they have the song.
Yeah, of course.
Makes sense.
We'll talk about songs later. I smile, and we'll talk later.
Then we had Pedro Pascal and Sigourney Weaver out in some random bit that I'm now saying is headcanon, in that Grogu is going to become Kazuchika Okada just because Grogu heard the word bitch come out of Sigourney Weaver's mouth.
Irony of all ironies of Sigourney Weaver presenting an award to Avatar.
Well, and Frankenstein, but
yeah, but it doesn't matter in the canon. And we completely glossed over the fact that PTA finally won an Oscar right before this.
He wins a lot.
Oh yeah, I did want to mention how much I love. I mean, I know it's them as filmmakers in general, since they were the directors of their movies and everything, but seeing 2 standing ovations for both screenplays was really nice.
Absolutely.
I feel like we don't see that for screenplay very often.
Next we had Jimmy Kimmel doing the documentary stuff with Jimmy making the joke's as appropriate as he can be.
So, anybody want to explain to me the crowd thing? Why, when the short documentaries got brought up, things got really distractingly loud?
So this is what Ashley was talking about a little bit ago, and he kind of said it earlier because he was talking about
Because
the live action
no,
shorts.
well,
But
no,
there
because
was
obviously documentary got mentioned as well in Conan's intro, and the show stalled for about 30 seconds because there was just whooping and hollering that much.
I literally think that everybody that was behind documentary short was in the theater that night because you could definitely tell it might have been the most important category of the Oscars to everybody in that venue because that place went nuts. The pop was huge when they were talking about documentary short.
Do we still not have anything definitive on what that was?
That's
Considering
the only
from
thing
what
that
the
makes any
crowd,
sense.
considering from what the crowd noise was in terms of the order that they were announced, I'm guessing it was people relating to Devil is Busy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because the
That got the
cheering was
biggest reaction.
way more prolific in that section than any of the others.
Trying to get
Because
confirmation.
I didn't know what that was, and I didn't know if it was related to. I haven't heard anything about this. Well, again, this is kind of ahead, but there was also a stall right before he brought Mikey Madison out. Do we know what that was?
Oh,
I
yes. That was they cued him, but they didn't actually, I guess, tell him over the earpiece we're live. I think that was, the whole we're gonna get through this.
mm-hmm.
It was that, nobody had Bill O'Reilly'd him and said we're live, pal.
Like Will Smith has forever made me paranoid if something looks slightly off.
That's fair.
But this year's BAFTA didn't help either.
Definitely not.
So yeah, documentary short. Went to all the empty rooms, which caught me off guard because lo and behold, there's what's his name, Steve from bloody Steve Hartman from On the Road with Steve Hartman from CBS Evening News and whatever. Like, what's he doing here? I completely forgot. It's like he's sort of the one that's trying to chronicle it and whatever. And like, so this is even more of a middle finger to CBS. It's like the guy that was, because I don't know whether he's still CBS. Oh no, of course, the show got cancelled last year. So Jimmy must have been really pleased. Even more of a middle finger to CBS. And that the guy that you basically let go and did God knows how many great things for CBS News over the day with his on the road stuff. And then 6 months later, oh look, he's won an Oscar. I mean, okay, he won't be credited because it'll be the producers and stuff, but he's the subject matter and whatever. So.
Not to mention for a Netflix movie, which was Paramount's rival in the Warner Brothers thing.
Yeah.
And if you were playing along at home, which I totally was, this is when I had hope that I might actually win the thing, because this is the point that I got that it finally overtook Ashley.
And then documentary feature goes to Mr. Nobody against Putin.
It's never the most obvious one. Every single year, there's always an outlier, and there's always something that's obvious, and there's always something that's been challenging all along. BAFTA had a lot more precedence this year than recent time.
Yeah, I was gonna say technically with BAFTA, that one did have the most industry support up to last night. So technically,
We
it
just
was
guessed
competitive.
wrong.
Yeah, but again, I think the Spirit Awards made us nervous because you
Yeah.
and I bet against The Perfect Neighbor, and when that happened, we were like, we're never betting against it again. And
That being said, though, the one that got the most cheering in the room and the one that everybody thought was going to win, and Geeton won neither of the Oscars she was nominated for.
Sure.
The one bit I did like on social media is somebody criticizing Mr. Nobody against Putin's speech because it's like, why didn't you say about stopping the war with the Ukraine? And it's like, so they clearly haven't seen the movie, right? Because the movie is about the state whitewashing and teaching of Russian people about the situation. It's nothing to do with the war on Ukraine. Not like last year, you know, when it was all, you know, that was the sort of the prominent choice that people, you know, they could have gone with if it hadn't been no other land, you know, the 20 miles from Mariupol and whatever. So
it's like you didn't even have to watch the movie. It's in the goddamn title.
yeah. Also, in his speech, he kind of said, you know, stop all wars. Like, he didn't want to single out the one that obviously partly involves his country and whatever. I think he, you know, like we saw with Joachim Trier, which we'll get to, it was like, yeah, just stop all wars. Regardless of who's in them, just no wars. No wars, please. We're humans.
Yeah, but I don't. It's weird. I mean, I know this has always been the case, but I mean, the fact that that's apparently a controversial statement is weird, to put it mildly.
Oh, it's only the one person that I saw. It's just the retort that I saw was like, so you clearly you didn't watch Mr. Nobody against Putin because you'd see the point wasn't anything to do with Ukraine. It was more the fact that Putin's trying to tell people a false history, if you will, rather than anything.
I was last minute. I was last minute. Do you know when I saw Mr. Nobody Against Putin? Like
Saturday?
yeah, like 11:30 at night Saturday.
Then, considering how we got to the bit where already at that point, I think one or two people had got cut off, but then were allowed to continue. And then the skits for score and sound with the bridesmaid people went on far too long.
Here's the thing. If you have to make it part of the bit that the bit is too long, maybe you should just not make the bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, maybe not do it at all. Like, seriously, this is not necessary.
I liked the bit.
The Skarsgård stuff was good.
I liked the bit when it was the note from Elle Fanning, oh, just kidding, it's me, Skarsgård again, because Ashley made that joke on this channel 4 years ago doing the Jared Leto donkey bit, and that's immediately what I thought of.
That's exactly right.
They're stealing my material now.
But yes, I did love that bit in general as well. But yeah, if you have to have Kristen Wiig say the bit's too long, it's just that the bit's too long.
But yeah, score went to Sinners, which the more and more I looked into it, I'm pleased that Hamnet didn't win this. Because it was a very succinct tweet that Adam from Your Movie Sucks and whatever, who also champions Nirvana, the band that showed the movie, so there you I guess he's good people.
All hail Matt Johnson.
um, basically highlighted that the track that sort of plays in the sort of crucial bit at the end is somehow allowed to be part of score and not disqualified because they sped it up at 1.5 speed. Because when you look at last year when Dune got thrown out because apparently the score is too similar to Dune Part 1, and then I'm trying to think, was it when The Martian and other stuff got excluded all sort of in that same 1 year from even being considered because of using works that previously existed, yet somehow for Hamnet it was accepted? Seems a bit weird.
Yeah, The Martian had like too many pre-existing songs or something. I don't know. We've talked high and low about the nature of daylight thing. Honestly, the thing that I had, the thing that stopped me in my tracks for that whole category was his name is Richter and not Richter. Was that a correct pronunciation?
I mean, I've heard it pronounced both, so I guess it's if you want to be correct to his, native language rather than how it's adapted. Possibly.
And while we're still in this area, I did want to shout out. I forgot. The bridesmaids bit was the same one with the DiCaprio and Rose Byrne, and then Del Toro saying "wrap it up." I did like those reaction shots as well.
Del Toro, for all intents and purposes, tapping the wrist.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I had to laugh on that.
and also the Stellan Skarsgård, like the sort of smiling, like nod, like yeah, like.
Everybody, I was wondering if Del Toro had initially been in on the bit, because everybody else seemed like they were kind of reacting in the moment. He seemed prepared for it. It's like almost like he was actually thinking, "Wrap this shit up."
It was like an old school Norm Macdonald, Frank Stallone moment.
And yeah, best sound going to F1.
F1 did not go home empty-handed.
Was it only 3 picture nominees that went home empty-handed?
That is correct.
Pagani as Secret Agent and Marty Supreme.
4. Train Dreams didn't win anything either.
All right.
Then Lynette Howe Taylor, who I guess has now been promoted, which I've just looked into it. I'm now confused as to how at the nominations she was announced as the acting president when she's been in the job since last year. So I'm confused as why they declared her as acting president at the nominations like 2 months ago, or around 2 months ago, when she wasn't. So either way, then we had the Pullmans of Bill and Lewis showing up to present editing.
Yes.
To OBA8.
Of course.
I was trying to remember if that's the first time I've seen them together before. I feel like I might have seen like one interview with them together at some point, but I wouldn't remember what that was even for. But yeah, that was very pleasing.
I mean, technically, we'll see it next year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Spaceballs 2.
Spaceballs 2, yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, I can't think of anything on the top of my head. So yeah, editing going to one battle after another.
A win I'm very happy with, by the way.
I'm extremely happy with it.
That movie's flow is so fucking good.
Someone said it on social media, and I couldn't put it any better if I tried. Literally took a movie that was almost 4 hours long and it made it feel like 15 minutes.
Taking a movie
That's
that
me.
could 4 hours long and making it 2 hours and 42 minutes is pretty good.
Crazy. I'm gonna watch it again for a victory lap.
And it's the whole movie too. I know you want to think just like the big like 40-minute section in the middle, but really the whole thing.
Oh, so well.
I was rewatching Sinners, killing time until the show.
Hmm.
It's got some great transitions. Like when O'Connell starts to levitate as the girl jumps on the stage, and
Mhm.
when I think it's when Cornbread gets taken, and then Jordan like rips a curtain open or something. Like there's some great transitions in it, but in the more low key scenes, I kept thinking like, whoa, there's an awful lot of cutting in this that probably doesn't need to be here, especially the car scenes. So I was kind of secretly hoping like, yeah, Sinners is great and has some great transitions, but I really hope this is one battle. F1 was possible too. F1 was really
F1.
possible.
I was bound and determined to say F1 for editing for like forever and a day, and then one battle just won out of nowhere, and it was like, oh wait a minute, yeah, this makes sense. Sometimes it's just the flashy movie, sometimes it's the loud movie, sometimes it's the cinematic action movie, and sometimes it's the picture front runner. And that's what it was this year.
Oh, not to mention, it's funny. The one thing I haven't mentioned is most of the first half an hour is montages.
Mhm.
So there's that too. See, it's interesting. That's the thing too about all the love that Taylor got. It's like Taylor's really good in it, but that movie is so good as it goes. The entire first half hour is like one of the last things I think about.
Mhm.
Like it's really from the big middle portion and forward is what I generally think about when I think about that movie, which is most of it.
Yes.
Then we had Demi Moore presenting cinematography to Sinners.
This is the moment that I knew I lost. When AJ took cinematography away from me, I knew that either A, we were going to tie, or he was going to beat me again. Because Ashley only had one more chance, too. Because if you look at the rest of the predictions for the rest of the night, we went with the same thing until you get for Ashley going Sinners for picture. So I knew that we were either going to get a three-way tie or AJ and I were going to tie. And one of those things happened.
Cinematography was like a three-way dead heat.
Until you said what you said about Sinners and its cinematographer, I never even considered it. Not once. Train Dreams was forevermore drilled into my head
I would have
until what
really.
happened.
I mean, I'm happy for the prediction game, but Train Dreams making a last-minute comeback would have been amazing.
I would have been happy with that.
The industry wins for one battle are still surprising to me. Those came from out
That,
of nowhere, I thought.
that's what changed my mind.
Then Javier Bardem and Priyanka Chopra Jonas doing international
It changed
feature.
my mind.
Bardem pissing off more of the internet because of his political statements. One daring to say, is he in a film that came out this year of any significance? No. And somebody rightfully went, he's practically the supporting. If they were to run for supporting actor, he's practically the supporting actor in F1.
This is why you don't deal with those people. They are not thinking in any way, shape, or form. They are just typing.
See, this right here, this category, was another one of those AJ persuasion moments.
And this is
This,
this is one where I'm more on the fence about whether this is gonna be looked on as back as a great win. Because personally, I feel there were stronger films on that list than Sentimental Value. That sort of the fact as well that that's the only thing that Sentimental Value could get is I want to say kind of surprising. Um, then again, I guess it didn't help that you know, hell, if the voting had gone right, you could have had three actresses all going for supporting actress. So
Well, it's the thing where it's like I think my personal favorite is Surat. um, but and of course Henry Job has its going to be historical importance. Even though some people thought it was kind of exploiting the situation, which I can understand that argument too by using the real phone call and making a movie out of it thing. I get that outlook. Um, it was just an accident. It's probably going to age really well. I would say the one that's probably going to age the best of those five is The Secret Agent.
yeah,
But I think what helps sentimental value is that it's so the conflicts in its movie are so universal compared to the other four.
my fear is as well because it's also about movies.
Yeah.
Whether it appealed to the Academy voters more.
I know a lot of the Academy voters would be appealing to the fact of all the English that's in it too.
Yeah,
Some voters don't see an international feature and they just turn their head. But oh wait a minute, this has got English in it as well. Let's vote for it. But I get my point across here. I love sentimental value, but this was legitimately the only thing it could have won. I'm glad to see it win, but again, I had it down. I wanted to go with my heart instead of my head. This Brazilian skew thing seemed really logical, especially if we're going to go with it potentially winning casting, which it had lost by then. And I was damn guaranteeing at this point that Mora wasn't going to win Best Actor unless they wanted to surprise me. So I was looking at all the things that are going to blank, and I had sentimental value blanking, and I was like, I don't want that to happen. It needs to win something. Can't win supporting actress. Can't win supporting actor. Can't go anywhere else. But wait a minute, it can win their national feature. The Secret Agent, man, it's just like they're going with it. They're going with it, and I was like, I kicked myself for not going with sentimental value because that's what I wanted to win. I'm happy it did win, but it sucks because if I would have done this like I wanted to, I actually would have won this game. 100%. When I lost cinematography to AJ, and then we all basically went for the same the rest of the night, except for one category, I was like, well, we're going to tie. And there's nothing I can do about it because I've already made predictions. Not like I can change anything.
I'm guessing you guys got the same vibe where that feeling I was having that the secret agent was going to be consistent throughout the night and there was going to be passion votes behind it enough.
It was consistently losing all night, is what it was.
When it lost casting,
that's when it started.
When it lost casting, I was like, I don't think this is going to pan out. That would have been the first sign of, oh man, there's a lot of passion. As soon as one battle got that, it's like, well, I think the secret agent's going home empty-handed now. It was. I feel like it was a. I'll soften the blow to myself by saying I would like to think it was literally one way or the other. If it wasn't if
Sure.
there is a universe where it didn't go home empty-handed, what we predicted would happen would have been what happened. There was
I'm
no
sure. Yeah.
there was no middle ground timeline for Secret Agent. Because yeah, we were saying the whole video that sentimental value was the obvious choice, but
For
it
sure.
almost it almost felt too obvious. Which
Yeah. Sometimes too obvious is right, though.
and basically the way what we can take away from this is it was about Amelia Perez's controversies last year.
Then surprise number 2, just like last year with Mick, let's get a musical legend out in Lionel Richie for
That
best
was cool.
original song. Although I would like to call him out because he was like, when he started talking, he was like, oh, stop standing up. But when he literally comes out and walks up on stage, he waves his hands as if to go, make some noise for me, please. So it's like, so which is it, Lionel? Do you want the crowd to react or don't you? Because you can't say both.
Was it was everybody sit down a joke maybe? I don't know.
Oh.
I don't really have a grasp on Lionel Richie's personality, but it could be.
There's an interesting statement made in 2026.
Um, so yeah, Lionel Richie presenting song to Golden. I will admit
Of course.
that when they presented the music things here, I appreciate the fact that they barely played any of I Lied to You and Golden compared to the other 3. Although the problem is you still played roughly the same amount of Golden because there were that many people on the songwriting credits, but it just went on for longer anyway.
Yeah.
And then, because it makes sense to sort of bring it up here because it's the last time when it basically happened, the issue that seems to be cropping up a lot with the Academy in that cutting people off so they can't say their thing. Because with that one, it's sort of like, okay, there's a lot of people that could have spoken, so it would make sense to cut them off. But like the other 2 times it happened, when they let them talk, they actually said very crucial, important things. The live action short person that got caught off. No, the document. No, which was it? No, it was the live action short one where the guy was saying, "Look how international our crew are." You know, that's the sort of diversity that we should be looking for. And then the other one that basically was like, no wars and all that sort of thing. Um, yeah, if you, I would have willingly cut a few minutes out of the Conan intro and cut down or reworked a lot of the writing that they did for a lot of the presenters, just so it's like, look, just basically say to people as if it's like it's the bloody wrestling. Say it's going 3.5 hours, but basically say there's unofficially behind the scenes there's a hard cut off at 4 hours. People will have a lot more acceptance of it because the casual people are going to go, why did you cut them off? And the hardcores are going to go, no, literally, why the fuck did you cut them off? So you're not pleasing anybody.
It also felt especially brutal because usually the thing is play them off, but the full on cutting of the mic instantly felt.
They lowered the mic and cut it off at the same time.
The fact that Conan was laughing about it. That was the thing as well. Like, Conan was like, the actual shit? Um, um,
I mean, I can think. I think you were onto something with and I think this is a thing that's been a problem for a while. when you look at things that could be cut down, the first thing I'm looking at is presenters and their jokes.
Banter seems to be something that is not unforgivable to cut down.
We already talked about the bridesmaids thing.
I would cut that.
The Downey Evans thing wasn't working either.
Nope. The Grogu thing really didn't work either.
Like I said, until Channing Tatum spoke up, I was not on board with that. But
it worked for Arnett and Tatum on stage because it was relatively short and to the point. Hathaway and Wintour was sort of dragged out, but you know, that's because Wintour is not an actor. The Pascal and Weaver bit sort of, if it had been shorter than it was, you know, it would have made sense. But then it's like as if Conan sort of highlighted it even further by saying Grogu can't clap his hands. So of course when that happened, I was immediately thinking to last year and the bloody scene in Maria where it's like, this is the sing bit. Fucking sing. So I'm like, fucking clap, Grogu. Fucking clap.
Yeah,
I felt like the Pullman's like talk was like got a bit awkward at points as well.
It did feel like there was an awkwardness between Weaver and Pascal and their whole thing. It felt like there were like long pauses between lines. And then, but again, I'm giving leeway to them. Like I said, they followed the memoriam, so people were probably still feeling solemn. That's the, as weird as this sounds, that's the optimistic side of me, I think, as to why that was met with silence.
But yeah, just unofficially say that it's going to be a 4-hour show. So if it overruns, so be it. I doubt many people are really looking forward to the season premiere of The Bachelorette like you stuck on afterwards. As if to go, why is this late? Then the final surprise, I guess because we have to do some publicity for the film, Robert Pattinson and Zendaya come out.
Some publicity? Actually, they're literally doing marriage this weekend to promote the movie.
Well, that's going to piss off Tom Holland.
And it is the literal first time she signs Zendaya Holland on the marriage certificate.
Yeah, but does she also have an unsettling truth?
Alana Haim was the DJ. That was cool. I'm looking forward to this movie.
But yeah.
Nothing else needs said. Paul Thomas Anderson is the best director winner final. Oh my God, it was incredible. It was like when Chris Daniels won the Ring of Honor World Championship. I was like, it's about damn time.
Something we didn't mention that I loved was I think it's when he won for screenplay, because it would have been his first one, when he said like, "Man, you make a guy work hard for one of these."
And the continued adulation to Adam Sumner's memory was just incredible.
Yeah.
Then
you got what you want, AJ.
Following on from that, Adrian Brody giving Best Actor to Michael B. Jordan, although Brody also sort of joking himself about the speech from last year.
I actually liked that one because it's like kind of what we're talking about with Penn, where Brody is one of those actors that's always criticized for taking himself too seriously. So it's kind of nice to do a bit like that, and then I like the fact that the punchline was just doing it.
Yeah.
Like, just saying the nominees was the punchline of the joke.
That was good.
although one of only 2 moments where somebody got played off. So not very beneficial to the joke.
So I love the list of people, the black acting winners that came before him in leading.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, are we going to acknowledge the balls on Jordan to mention Will Smith?
Yeah.
You knew he was going to, though.
I mean, he should have. If that was what
Justifiably.
he was going for, Will Smith is one of those. And I
For a
stand
minute
by.
there, when he did it, I thought Will was gonna come up on stage and slap him and say, "Take my name out your goddamn mouth." We're just gonna recreate it all over again.
I will say that, did I read correctly that the Academy and has basically like lifted the ban?
Did they?
I thought I saw something about
I
that earlier on this season. I'm not positive, but I feel like they lifted the ban.
I felt like at the time that's something that probably would eventually happen.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting. I've been a. Oh my god! I can't believe we're getting back into this 5 years later. Um, I was and am completely on Chris Rock's side and all that.
Yeah,
But I'm a for life Will Smith fan.
of course.
So there is a part of me going, Chris Rock had his special, Chris Rock said his thing, let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
I as somebody that still stands by Will Smith, I still watch Men in Black especially regularly. I'm never ever going to quit Will Smith.
Mm-mm.
But it's interesting when it still gets brought up in some of his more off the radar interviews, and he seems quite remorseless. And I've found that a little interesting. But I mean, if they want to bring him back soon to joke on himself and maybe move on, still, I know we've been saying it's moved on for 5 years, 4 years, whatever it is. I mean, I don't know, but Men in Black is still great. And his other stuff, Independence Day every 4th of July is a tradition as well. So, I every time, I can't wait to get up there and whoop ET's ass. Gets me every time still.
And of course, the tradition of eating an In-N-Out after he won his Oscar.
Yes.
Which, of course, led to those people that clearly don't watch the Oscars enough saying, why did he go there? That's so stereotypically of his culture. And it's like, well, one, Vanity Fair.
If he's a Californian, that is his culture, sir.
Vanity Fair basically is literally, they have like an unofficial In-N-Out restaurant but backstage for people to have. And God knows how many other actors, regardless of their race, have done the tradition of going to the actual store that's just round the corner from the theatre and gone there for the stuff. So
it's literally right there. And that drive-through gets super busy even when it's not the Oscars. So I can only imagine how busy it would have been that night.
I can't do, even if it's competent people, I wouldn't know. Even if it's competent people, and I don't know if it's because we do this or what. I don't think, even if we weren't doing this, I think I'd be the same way.
Probably.
I do not ever seek out award season discourse. Ever. When I watch...
The problem is it just shows up on my Twitter. That's how I can't help.
When I watch old Oscar speeches and stuff like that, award season discourse videos start coming up in my recommended, and I immediately hit do not recommend this channel every single time. I do not give a fuck what any of them are saying.
This is the reason why he never gets Popcast Network videos in his recommended.
I don't even go to Gold Derby and awards watching all those. I just go on whatever the fuck I'm thinking. Like like when we do them in August, the first time we do it, I'll like look around to see what the buzz is. But then I'll go from that because I can't do the fucking Discord. I met one of the most special people in my entire life on a movie awards forum. I abandoned that forum like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I got close with so many people there, and I just could not do discourse anymore, and I don't go there anymore. It's the I can't I can't no I can't do. We talk all the time about movie discourse in general. That's another thing, but I mean award season discourse especially is like I don't want to hear a fucking thing you have to say. Nothing.
It's like watching the movie. It's like watching the marathon, because obviously the theaters have the movie marathon for Best Picture, and they do 5 movies one weekend and 5 movies the other weekend. Some places do it 24 hours, which is interesting, but we don't do that here. And I remember after getting out of Train Dreams, I was listening to what people were saying. I was like, God, no, I don't want to listen to people talk.
I hate it.
You have no idea what you're talking about right now.
You notice this right now. I fucking hate hearing it secondhand.
Yeah.
I hate hearing this is what some dumb fuck said. Like I don't even, like even that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I will walk into the office and I will hear somebody say something. It'll stop me dead in my tracks. No matter what I'm doing, I will turn around and defend whatever I have to say. Like, are you serious? What you just said?
You've got that many people that are interested in this sort of thing, but if they don't do sort of the discourse and the lore and sort of actually look as to why things happen, that's where it's like, so it's an actual lost cause, you know.
So, speaking of lost cause, let's get to the category. Doesn't even need to be mentioned because there was a lost cause. Anyone else was going to win. So, I completely blocked this part out of my head because there was no reason for anything for me to watch this, so I just didn't. I abstained completely.
What's that?
Yeah. Mikey presenting actress to Buckley, yeah.
I completely abstained from this whole part of the Oscars. I just didn't care.
See, I'm okay. I'm actually okay with Buckley's win.
It's not my choice, but it was the most obvious one of the season. I really wish they would have given it away on the red carpet, so we would have just moved on to things that are actually a race.
When Madison was up there, I basically just really intensely tried to pretend she was Demi Moore, and then
I just ignored it completely.
It wouldn't be the first time somebody younger has been on stage and then Demi Moore started to morph out of them. We've seen that before. But
I think she's better looking too. Anyway, continue.
To me,
I'm a little bit biased, AJ. Don't forget this.
With Buckley, I sort of, because again people mention this and sort of, I actually look back at it because I think it's rather significant. When she was doing the I Do Anything, when she was auditioning for Nancy, Andrew Lloyd Webber had her back. If you look at like the other judges on that show and the comments they did every week, yet she was making it to the final, you know, it'd be the equivalent of bloody Andrew Lloyd Webber going to the judges and slapping him in the face and basically saying, "Take her name out your goddamn mouth." Like the comments that they weren't doing were not constructive criticism. They actually felt hateful. So the fact that we're talking 15 to 20-ish years later, the fact that she can basically say, here's an Oscar statue, you can swivel on it to those people, I sort of feel pleased by. And then, because I wasn't sure where we were going, and then lo and behold, no, the reunion of Moulin Rouge is going to do Best Picture.
So, I want to say what I want to say on this. AJ, I will let you go first.
I was gonna say I knew this was happening, but I forgot we hadn't seen it yet, so I had no idea they were doing picture. Did we know that at all?
No, one
I
by
mean, I think
one.
it's a great. That's another tradition that I hold in high regard is getting somebody that's a big deal to do picture.
As
And
as soon as they said here to present director Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, and it's like, well, I didn't that was a surprise, but wait, there's only 3 presenters left. Well, 4 if you count the people. It's like, well, we know what Brody and Madison are doing, so that therefore means the Moulin Rouge people must be doing the anniversary quote best picture presentation.
So we have talked about for years about having great award seasons being what you have been wanting to have happen. AJ got his with Oppenheimer. Not exactly sure what Ashley has gotten. Ashley, what's your closest one on this in the previous like 5 to 10 years?
Parasite.
Okay, Parasite makes sense
Or
for you,
possibly
absolutely.
Spotlight, because I think it was the only one
Yeah,
called Spotlight. But I'd say
I
with
like
those
Spotlight.
2 years, well, certainly, Parasite, again, because of it coming out here when it did, I had to sort of default it and be sort of the 2020 pick for me because of the way my predictions go. But it was like,
Mhm.
of that list, I was like, I don't care what you think about what was its main competition that year.
1970.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was like, no, Parasite, do it, you cowards. And then they did it, so they're not cowards.
You were a big you're a big fan of Shape of Water too, aren't you?
Yeah, but I can't remember what else. Hang on.
Three Billboards was its competition.
Yep.
I did like, yeah. I think I went with Shape of Water, but with that one, I don't think I would have been like, well, somebody got screwed. um,
I think Shape of Water was another one for you too, where you had to do it in the next year, wasn't it?
yeah, because it would have come out, I think, here for like January, February ish. So, yeah. Um, yeah, because looking at that, yeah, I'd have been fine with 3 billboards winning. Um, and then yeah, I could have seen Revenant or Mad Max probably win in 2015.
I feel like you were more for Mad Max though.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot I enjoyed sort of that year for sure. And I think I liked 1917 more than obviously you guys did. Obviously, because you were going to be on the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood stuff, which is one, that sort of that's actually a tough year for me because like Parasite I really liked, Ford versus Ferrari / Le Mans '66 I really liked, Jojo Rabbit I really liked, Joker I really
Oh yeah,
liked, Marriage
Such
Story
a
I really
great
liked,
year.
1917
Amazing
I
year.
really liked, Once Upon a Time. Irishman I was a bit indifferent on just because at some of the points I felt the 3.5 hours could have been trimmed a little bit. And Little Women was good, but it did feel like it was sort of something to make up the numbers. Um, but yeah, sort of the way sort of Parasite just connected with me, sort of like see just as it was. I don't think sort of. I think by default I might have been. I think I was kind of the same on Everything Everywhere, which probably got overshadowed because obviously Owen wasn't. Um,
wow.
but when you're in a year where you've got Avatar, let's make Avatar 2 Electric Boogaloo. Whereas at least with Fire and Ass, it decided to do at least something different to Avatar 1 and 2. So it's like, oh, this is the actual sequel, right?
So that being said, this was my year. And everything was starting to come up Millhouse. It was amazing. Loved every second of it, watching the Oscars, editing. And then it just kept going and going and going. And PTA got his first and he got his second. And I was like, oh my God, it's actually going to happen. And it did. I not only did it, but it was the complete polar opposite of what Nightmare last year was. Because one of my favorite movies of all time is Moulin Rouge. And to literally see Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman turn into Christian and Satine doing a part of the Elephant Love medley right before my eyes was breathtaking. Loved every second of it.
How many times in the theater was it for you?
It was part of the 13 Timers Club. 13 Timers Club, also with A Walk to Remember.
I can say it now publicly. There was one fear that I fought this season, because I don't know how much he might have been around, is that he who should not be named was either going to present screenplay or director to PTA, and I was like, that's going to suck if that happens. Thankfully, it now can't happen because PTA's won in both categories. So
Yeah.
we can scratch that
Now,
off.
now that we are another award season out, hopefully we're just throwing that fuck in the trash and we don't have to worry about it again. That would be
Yes, indeed. So yes, this was my year to finally get my moment, to get my favorite movie of the year being presented by one of my favorite movies of all time. And it was incredible to see before my eyes one battle after another winning Best Picture.
I mean, it was for me as well. Okay, I had Flow in my list, but that's, for you guys, Flow would have been last year. So it's like,
Flow was fantastic.
out
I
of the
love
list of
Flow.
10, it was like, yes, please let PTA have a picture win as well. And it's like, oh, I love the fact it's like, oh, well, they just gave it him. Well, I think it was an actual joke thing. It was like, oh, well, they just gave it him in sympathy for, and they literally just listed every other film that he did. It's as if like, yeah, they all should have won. But then again, I kind of feel the same way with like Nolan and Oppenheimer. Nolan and Oppenheimer is a fucking incredible film. Okay, he probably should have won before that,
Yes.
but don't take it away, you know.
I
Same with Scorsese and The Departed. Okay, he had a thing, but I think Departed that year was one of my favorites. So that the sort of the fact that that got the win was really good.
I was just gonna say I don't really care how controversial it is because this is how I feel about it. um, I don't go in on this career win discourse.
Mm-mm.
I say that as somebody whose favorite Nolan movie is Oppenheimer and favorite Scorsese movie is The Departed.
Yep.
So fuck you and fuck you, whoever you all are. Yes, I do know that career wins do exist, but I don't think those are examples. And I don't think One Battle's an example. One Battle is
No,
a great movie by itself.
absolutely.
And I love One Battle the more I see it. Where does that leave us?
I mean, there's a fair few of comments of which I think Cassie just says hi.
Hi, Cassie.
But we have got Smurfy and with I think one comment at least. I haven't scrolled back because I wanted to sort of get them through here because it gives us a sort of chance to sort of bounce around sort of the other stuff that either we did mention or want to talk a bit more on. Josie saying probably the best in memoriam in a really long time. My mum even thought so. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
yes.
definitely.
Was considering Burger King today after the Oscars, but not during the time when we're supposed to have a weather impact alert. Josie saying Amy
Yeah.
Madigan is such a deserved winner.
Yes.
Bryce says, I'll look out for Zach Krieger's next film for Oscar consideration. I mean, we have Robert Eggers' Werewolf in December. I mean, when you take into account that Zach Krieger's next film is Resident Evil,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited, but at the same time, it's like people are gonna shit on it.
We'll say his next original movie.
Yeah,
Really.
I mean, if he can make a sort of, because this he sort of basically said, unlike what we've seen with the other things, Krieger's thing is going to be something like within the universe, but it's not trying to be based on really any existing material.
So what we're saying is it's Until Dawn, but it's good.
Yes. Dear
I
God.
I didn't mind Until Dawn as a horror movie, but that's because I'm not a gamer and have no idea what anything about it is. So
I've watched a lot of playthroughs of Until Dawn, and I love the game. I've never played it, of course, but I love the game as it is. What they did with Until Dawn was a good concept, but I think the video game fans, and I'm sure Ashley you'll agree with this, they wanted a true adaptation of the game instead of what they got.
The Until Dawn the game is very, I mean, possibly because of the nature of where it's set, is sort of very cabin in the woods.
Very much so.
There's sort of bits where you can like at your actions decide who makes it to the next scene sort of thing. But
It's
the fact that
interesting.
they interpreted that and basically went, so we'll take the original game but just make it Happy Death Day
Mm-hmm.
slash source code slash oh, let's find some excuse that sort of they're trapped in the same loop sort of thing, and it's like that wasn't part of the game.
No.
There's certain bits where it's like, okay, this character is supposed to survive, you've got to retry, but there's fair few bits where it's like, no, that's it's the old, telltale, the thing in the corner, Clementine will remember, that sort of thing. It's something that's going to have ramifications for your thing. You can't do that much for a movie unless you're Clue.
Hardcore Harry.
Yeah, to some. Well, no, what was it? The Guardian with Kutcher and Costner, where it had like 4 different endings.
Yeah.
I think the
Excuse me.
closest. Josie's bold prediction: Martin McDonough's Wild Horse 9. Yeah, I mean
Probably.
it will be anyway. The same people you expect will be in there. It's just it'll be interesting to see. Not that the critics sort of have too much of a sway in things and whatever, but usually from that you sort of get a idea of what may or may not be coming. So we'll
I
see.
just I just want a McDonough movie with that cast, whatever it does after that.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. I just want that movie.
Also love Conan's joke of Netflix CEO of him being in a theatre. Hey Ted, Owen needs a theatre to show Netflix movies properly. He wants to see Gerwig's Narnia on the big screen.
Yeah, and then missed out on Jay Kelly because of that too. Hey, the theater I saw Frankenstein in is literally closing next week, so I kind of got in by the skin of my teeth on that one.
I mean, in that respect as well, shout out to Universal, I guess.
Oh
Because
yeah,
apparently they're
obviously.
reverting away from the 17-day window to,
Oh yeah.
I think it's at minimum 5 weeks.
Yep.
And then when we get to sort of 2028, it's minimum 7 weeks before it then, even dares go to the cock of the peas.
So funny you mentioned that, Brian. I found a Netflix theater when I went to California, and that's where I got to see The Power of the Dog, The Lost Daughter, and Tick Tick Boom. And they do have these Netflix branded theaters, but there's not very many of them, and they only seem to be a West Coast thing. They'll buy like an old timey movie theater, and then they'll just put Netflix movies in there. And I got to have a wonderful day a couple years ago with my friend Troy, just noshing on food and watching movies I would never see theatrically otherwise. So yeah, they exist. They're just harder to find.
I mean, we're all going to be sort of up a creek with no paddle this year, what with Adventures of Cliff Booth.
Yeah.
We're all going to want to see that. As people intended. Although that being said, now that we know that Tarantino's doing the West End, but apparently whatever that play is basically the final film. Apparently. Whatever happens with the play will then get adapted into a screenplay, which will get adapted into a movie. Which is weird because Tarantino will have written an original story, but it will technically be adapted because it will based off his own stage play.
I was just about to say, he's probably going to want to lay low until Hollywood likes him again, but then I forgot. Everybody came out and said, fuck that guy for Paul Dano and all them. But the second Tarantino says, hey guys, I'm making a new movie, everybody's going to fucking jump in line.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Everybody's going to want that.
Well, the intriguing thing is it's sort of being kept quiet as to who the West End cast is going to be. Because the word is it's basically going to be the equivalent of a Tarantino movie cast, but on a theatre stage. That's going to be weird in itself.
So if you're listening, Quentin, because we're all fans here, we don't like what you say sometimes, but hey, that's how it works. If you're listening, someone is one step away from an EGOT right now, and all she needs is a Tony. So, Quentin, time to cast Lady Gaga.
Did I ever show you my Christmas present from my brother?
I don't think you did.
It's a welcome mat.
I have one of those too.
No, I think there's something specifically behind it, Owen. It's not just any old welcome.
No. I have a specific welcome mat too.
Oh, so this is where we find out if it's the same mat.
Definitely not.
Are you ready for this?
I am. Oh, wow.
It's the whole filmography as VHSs.
Dear God, how did you get that? How does that exist? Is that an Etsy thing?
I think it's an Etsy thing, yeah.
That makes sense. Hold on. We'll go there. I shall return.
My doormat just says Diane motherfucking Warren, but there you go.
I'd say that is a welcome mat, but I have not put it on the floor because there's no way I'm letting people step on that.
No.
So everyone knows I live in an apartment, and I don't trust. Well, my neighbor is actually someone I work with, well, in the same department. So, needless to say, I see them every once in a while. So, mine is outside of the door of my apartment in the hallway. And of course, mine, Taylor Swift.
Of course.
I mean, part of me hoped it was going to be apartment C23 bitches, but you know.
That would have made sense.
Comedy for two is comedy, so. Josie saying I can't believe live action short was a tie. Bry saying on a historical note, K-pop Demon Hunters becomes the first non-Disney animated film to get 2 Oscars.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Um,
It's crazy to think, isn't it?
Devil Wears Prada 2 promotion. Will Hathaway get nominated next year? Most likely for the Odyssey, especially the year she has for movies. I don't know. Zendaya's pushing her. Zendaya's got them in Dune and Spider-Man
Well,
and the Odyssey.
I know my favorite actress would have something to say about this, but that aside, I think when it comes to Nolan's female characters, we're gonna have to wait till we see the movie to see how they're handled before we talk about them.
Absolutely.
Josie saying Park Chan-wook will be jury president at Cannes and wonders if Wagner Moria will serve alongside the jury. I don't know whether at this point whether they've announced the full jury yet. I'm gonna see if it's, because I want to say they announced that somewhat ahead of time, like quite a while before. Okay, so we haven't. Oh, but they have announced that the honorary Palme d'Ors this year will be Barbra Streisand and Peter Jackson.
Oh, nice.
But and there is a rumor that whether it's out of competition or not, Spielberg's Disclosure Day might be showing up there. Because
I would not be surprised one bit.
with in and around the weekend that it's coming out. So, Bryce says casting was a bitch to predict. That was a hard category go. Thanks a lot, BAFTA, for not helping. Hey, yeah.
More shade to BAFTA, Brian.
Joe's saying one battle was really deserving casting, in my opinion, because of the non-actors they got and not just the main actors. Are we looking forward to Digger? Well, yeah.
Yes, very much so. Tom Cruise in an Inarritu movie? Absolutely, I'm looking forward to Digger.
Yeah,
I want a real.
The whole cast list is great. Goodman's in there. Sophie Wilde from Talk to Me is in there. Sandra Hüller, I think, is in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, the trailer itself is literally just the teaser seeing Cruise like in silhouette. So I want a full trailer so I can get an idea of what we're getting ourselves into. But yeah, I'm super excited for Digger.
Yeah, I know what like the vague plot synopsis is, and it sounds tailor made for Cruise, which is awesome.
We need to get Tom Cruise another Oscar. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, he has an Oscar now.
It almost kind of seems like we've been wanting him to be like, it's great you're the action movie guy, but we also want you to be the Magnolia guy.
We need you to be Frank
It's
T.J.
like-
Mackey again.
It's like this sounds like it might be somewhere in the middle,
I think it is.
which could be really cool.
Oh yeah.
Josie saying, I believe Conan said he wants to be host until possibly the YouTube switch.
There's partially a bit, but there's a lot of truth to it, actually, Josie.
Bryce saying, with that tie, it's the 7th overall and the second time within the live action short category itself. Bryce says, here's the thing on with mine and on the awards expert app I use. My original prediction was The Sinners because it had the best reviews, and then I changed it to two people exchanging saliva and put The Singers at number 2 on the app.
I like The Singers.
Regretting not going with The Singers, and then the tie, so on technically I got both. So Wagner Moore and his photojournalist wife are so cute together. Which of these year's nominees or winners would you most want to have narrate an audiobook?
Delroy Lindo.
That's a great answer, and it feels like you had it in the chamber for some reason.
Can we have Del? Okay, I'll go one step further. Could we have Delroy Lindo do an audiobook for the Shawshank Redemption?
Sure. Why not?
Please. Let's go.
I really like Benicio's voice. I'd
Yeah.
throw him into the mix.
If Del Toro did win at SAG, I would have said Delroy Lindo, but I still went with Penn. Out of his 3 wins, which do you think is his best performance?
I think I've got a whole rant about his performance in Mystic River. In its favor, I have a rant on it. That's in a video we've done.
Yep.
What pisses me off, it's the fucking discourse. I swear to fucking God, the discourse. He has the one scene. He's got the one fucking scene where he screams, "Is that my daughter in there?"
Yes.
And everybody calls that whole performance his screaming performance. Everything else about that performance is unbridled rage and sadness hiding under this "I have to be masculine and stoic" facade, with one fucking scene where he screams. It may be one of my favorite lead actor wins, period. And I hate how fucking unfairly put in that space it is. Put under that label it is, when it's one scene that people remember that well that they think that's the whole performance.
And
There's
then
the scene where he's talking to the guy about his daughter being on the slab and getting cut open. And that could be a big blow up scene, but it's this very restrained rage. And it's like, no, there's one fucking scene where he blows up. No, he blows up right before he kills Tim Robbins. But even then, it's like, that scene needs that blow up in that moment because he's really cracking at that point. But then he comes back down before he kills Dave. I cannot stand the discourse around that performance. It is not what people say it is.
and for me, I love Harvey Milk, but don't forget that season he stole that Oscar from Mickey Rourke.
I also would have chosen Mickey Rourke, but when you watch Milk now, he is phenomenal in it.
Oh, I love Milk. Milk's fantastic.
Yeah.
But obviously, we go back to the most obvious thing of all, Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler is one of the best performances of that year, no matter if he won or not.
Okay. You froze up if you're wondering why we were silent.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Don't
heard
forget,
you.
I still can't see Ashley.
The internet dipped, but eventually the message came through. So that's why.
So I would say, I don't know, because I'm in. You just heard me talk about it in the other video. I'm fucking in love with it. One battle.
Yeah, Lockjaw is fantastic. I think Lockjaw probably overall would be the best. Like,
If you ask me right now, I'd probably go Mystic River, One Battle, Milk, but they're all.
that would make.
But Mystic River and One Battle are like right here.
Mm-hmm.
But I especially love just how, like, the different sides, the different things you have to play Lockjaw, where you have to play the scary bad guy, but also the really fucking pathetic guy that's happening at the same time. Yeah, that's a tough call.
If Del Toro had one at SAG, I would have said Delroy Lindo, but I still went with Penn. Oh no, you already said that one. Smurfy says there seems to be this collective mindset that nobody wanted Sean to get a third Oscar, so why not go with Benicio Del Toro? Well, obviously. Bryce says right now, even with the December release without anything at a glance, Avengers Doomsday feels like it could be a Force Awakens sort of situation at the Oscars. I mean, if it delivers as a good film and seems to, have Marvel back on track in delivering stuff that people are going to connect with. If it isn't, then it's just going to go with another Avatar in that the techs will love it, but in the categories that Disney wants it to be in, it won't be.
I don't want to sound like a broken record or like I'm trying to be anti Marvel or anything, but I just pretty much after No Way Home, I just kind of stopped thinking about Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of like unless Doomsday comes up in conversation, I'm not even thinking about it.
I'm okay with Spider-Man, and I was a little biased towards Thunderbolts, but I don't care about Marvel overall. I just want my Batman movie, and I still have a couple years for that.
Depending on what happens to Warner Brothers by then.
Bryce saying
Who knows?
maybe, I mean, okay, it's a bit further on from the time, but maybe Eugene would be a good fit for the Emmys, what with, Schitt's Creek and everything.
I would think so, and I think that might be where that happens, if it happens at all, because that's enough time for everything to kind of sink in and for the words to come that probably are not quite there for Eugene Levy right now.
Those usually aren't until like September, aren't they?
Mm-hmm, so that's plenty of time.
Oh, and Josie, who would win in
Here
a
we
fight,
go again.
Anton Chigurh or Lockjaw?
What about them?
Who'd win
The
in a
fight.
fight?
I don't know. They both use guns, so it's just gonna be a shootout.
I don't know. I think Chigurh would shoot first before Lockjaw would be done monologuing. Or it could be the other way around. They both do the same exact thing.
Lockjaw's got an army. Chigurh works alone.
He doesn't need an army.
Also, sort of relating to armies, would Lockjaw join the vampires and sinners?
By the time it's all said and done, he'd probably lead them.
I mean, given that a lot of them are Klansmen, yeah.
For sure.
And Bryce says, perfect neighbor front runner doesn't win. So considering it didn't win DGA, BAFTA or PGA and just had the indie spirits, that's why I went with Mr. Nobody against Putin.
It kind of wasn't the front. It kind of wasn't the front runner now that we know things in retrospect.
No.
Yeah. Advice when you do your predictions, always look at the dates between each ceremony and when their voting begins and ends. I mean, we always... The fact that, like, some of the stuff last night matched so much with the BAFTAs, it still, to me, tells me that... Oh, well, that's what the BAFTAs said, so that must be correct. Because I don't think people actually... The amount of... Going back on the max score thing, the amount of comments I saw from the anonymous voters saying, I didn't know that bit of music had been used before, so maybe I shouldn't have said score. And the amount of people
don't watch this stuff that close.
The amount of people as well that were... Considering how, again, they supposedly brought rules in that says you have to watch everything to actually vote on it. And the fair number of people, I shouldn't say the amount because it was only a handful, but that's all that comes out because obviously the anonymous stuff, not everybody's going to leak their stuff anonymously, otherwise it ain't going to be very anonymous. But the amount of people that I saw saying, oh, I just ticked the box saying I had seen this so I could still vote in that category, kind of disappoints me. In that respect. Bryce says, I hated the bridesmaid reunion. It's why you should never have any of them present because they're cringe.
I hate that word, Brian, but yes, you are not wrong with anything you just said.
Will we see Grantham next year, 2 years in a row, win for the Odyssey? Literally, when he walked off stage, I was like, even if you don't win, we'll see you in 12 months because the Odyssey's probably going to make it in for score.
Probably.
At least with a nomination.
And I'll just say again, he's good enough that I don't even mind
Yeah.
if we keep seeing him win.
The score in the trailer alone tells me that if that's him, and I feel like it is, then that's just a preview.
Bryce says this is what the Academy needs to discount original song and replace it with adapted score. Problem is, like, with adapted score, there might not be a huge amount. It depends how many sort of significant sequels sort of come out that year where people sort of bring up adapted score. Which, when you look at this year, is practically none. It's just Hamnet was the sort of the outlier just because of one track. Because the rest of the score is really good. It's just the one track that's been used before that gets included and whatever because it's at 1.5 speed. Oh, Bry also mentions the Jacoby bridesmaid bit.
But there was no pizza in the auditorium. I feel your pain, Jacoby. I really do.
If I was an actor and I was there and it had been mentioned by any of the bridesmaid cast, I would have said, "You're making me cringe," and that movie sucks. Wow.
I wouldn't say that out loud, Brian, but my internal monologue would be on fire.
Had one battle for cinematography. I did predict sentimental value, mainly not because of a big candidate, but Norway never won it. But when's the category going to give it to the filmmakers and not the country? Yeah, that's something. I love the fact that Trier's there, sort of in all the speeches and stuff with the Oscar, and it's like that's going to get taken from him in a minute and just sent to whoever the president is of the Norwegian Academy. Not him. That's why I guess it's significant that Parasite won Best Foreign Film that year and Best Picture, because at least Bong got to keep one. And yeah, Bry also mentioned, speaking of it was just an accident, it just got confirmed to be one of June's releases in the Criterion Collection.
Nice.
Alongside, let's get the list. If it loads up in time. 5 Easy Pieces and Charade on June the 2nd. West Indies, The Fugitive Slaves of Liberty on the 9th of June. High Art on the 16th of June. Magellan, and surprisingly not double packed together, even though it makes sense, John Waters' Desperate Living and Hairspray on June the 23rd as well, and then Carla Sora's Flamenco Trilogy alongside It Was Just an Accident on June the 30th.
I just this week ordered the Ernst Lubitsch Eclipse series from them. So hopefully that's here soon.
Then also
With
speaking of international as well, apparently the Cannes lineup will be revealed April 9th, so just after Easter. So we'll probably discuss that, mid-April? I think it's the week after. We're hopefully going to be doing a show.
Yeah, close to Dynasty.
Yeah.
Sure.
Diane Warren is now 0 and 17.
She is the Kurt Hawkins of the Oscars.
ABC don't
Shout
let the
out to
100th
my boy
ceremony
Brian
be
May.
a disaster. Oh, they probably will. And then watch YouTube possibly for the 101st be kind of absolute terrible. And then people will go, this is why it should be on television. Bryce says presenters need to infuse about the categories, not just try and be funny. Zendaya has now been a boring choice to present.
She's fine.
Even though Diane would be the obvious choice, I'd say Chalamet's the big loser for this year's Oscars.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's how Marty Supreme would have done it.
Yeah.
Marty Mauser, the character, basically was Chalamet this year when it came to the award ceremonies.
Hell, when they showed that bit from Marty Supreme, I don't know if it was the for your consideration bit or when they showed the acting clip. I think I said to you, Owen, I'm trying to work out if that's a scene from Marty Supreme or if that's a Timothée Chalamet interview. That's how much their sentimentalities are sort of seemingly the same.
I'm just happy that Penn Jillette was on the red carpet last night, and I've seen pictures of it to prove it was real.
The question I had was, it went doubly for Chalamet. Not only did the tide turn in Jordan's favor, and it wasn't him, but also the most attention he got throughout the night was being clowned for the ballet. So I feel like this is one of two things. Either next time we see him, he's going to be super humble. He's going to be like, I learned a lot from that. Maybe I went a little too hard. I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to go, like, I'm going to be kind of stoic about it, like the way DiCaprio is. It's like, maybe that'll be my goal. Or we just witnessed a supervillain origin story.
So what you're saying is we're getting a new age Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, hopefully not that bad. hopefully Chalamet's not getting smacked around in the streets of New Orleans anytime soon.
Maybe, who knows? I would like your mustache, boy.
Interesting. Emma Stone gives Madison her Oscar, presents the category with Stone nominated, but gives it to Buckley. And next year, Buckley will be presenting with Madison possibly being nominated for Social Reckoning. And then probably Emma Stone for a Yorgos Lanthimos film. I think, is that happening? Have we confirmed? That seems to be a thing that happens every year now. It's a Yorgos Lanthimos film. Emma Stone's in it, right? Chloe Zhao now has 2 movies getting Best Actress. If only it was just those 2 awards and not picture, but there we go.
Also, is this I'm trying to make sure it's not more. Is this the 3rd Best Picture winner starring DiCaprio that he leads? This, Titanic, and The Departed? The Revenant got really close.
Revenant could have been that answer, but it wasn't.
The Aviator was big its year before $1 Million Baby took over.
Right. Yeah, that's got to be right.
I almost feel like I'm missing one. I don't think there's any he was a supporting player in, because he's been supporting in like 3 movies. 3 or 4 movies. What? Gilbert Grape, The Quick and the Dead, Marvin's Room, and Django.
I was trying to work out if somehow he gets name dropped.
Didn't...
If he somehow gets name dropped in Everything Everywhere All at Once, or Nomadland, or Birdman. I don't think
he's
so.
like one of the only people that didn't get referenced in Birdman.
Yeah.
As much as I appreciate the Moulin Rouge reunion, Kidman's a kind of a boring choice because she shows up every 2 to 3 years, which I guess means Halle Berry showing up next year because it's every couple of years.
Brian, I see her every week at least twice or 3 times at my AMC. If they're going to reference Moulin Rouge, you can just do it all day, every day, and I'd be happy.
Shout out to PTA's speech on the shout out to the 75 picture nominations 50 years on, which people say
Yeah.
is one of the best, lineups in history.
Yes, it is.
Brian total got 20 out of 24 and has 28 movies for the marathon, with obviously one battle being the final one.
Yep.
So there we go. Bryce says DiCaprio starred in 3 Best Picture winners. What are the 5 films that got in for picture that didn't get in for director? Yeah, Begonia. Well, Lanthimos, Kaczynski, Del Toro, Philo, and Bentley. Speaking of Bentley, his and Greg Quadal's next film, Saturn Return, with Greg in the director's chair after doing Sing Sing.
Ooh.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
Owen, it's a Netflix film.
If it does well enough, I'll get it theatrically. I just may have to wait until February or March to see it.
I'm just trying to double check. Why is it listed as a 2024 film? Oh, that's a different Saturn Return. But that doesn't help.
And to be fair, Brian, if you look at that list of 5 that didn't get in, almost everyone, with the exception of Bentley, I didn't think any of us ever had Bentley in for director. We all were, Kaczynski too. We were predicting 3 out of those 5 to get into the director lineup at one time or another during this season anyway. Heck, Lanthimos almost slid in the very last minute. But I went with Chloe Zhao instead.
And then, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's the coolest. Oh, yeah. Cassie coming in saying, that's the coolest welcome mat I've ever seen.
It could be either one.
Yeah, I was going to say, which one?
The one that says Diane motherfucking War?
That's fair.
I somehow don't think I'll be able to do that if I go to sort of a... They might not like the swearing. I might have to asterisk F -- N.
Well,
literally how it's written.
We know one person that wouldn't mind it is Diane Warren. So
Yeah, very true.
She bought one already.
So yeah, I don't think there's anything else. There's nothing else in chat. I don't think there's anything else Discord stuff that has gone down. I'm gonna quickly
right on 2.5 hours.
I'm gonna go to Variety. You know that's probably risky business. To see if there is anything that we need to mention before we head off for a few weeks and get back to our semi-normal schedule, I guess. And that's twice a month, like middle of the month and end of the month.
Something like that, yes.
Starting with March 31st, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That is what we are aiming for, guys. So yeah, the award season's wrapped up. If you want to know the doors on the scores, I think what's fascinating is if results had gone differently and we had a three-way tie, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head that means literally either Critics' Choice or the Globes was the only thing that separated us practically this season. I'm just double checking because yeah, you guys had 15 for the Oscars, I had 13. So we actually, all 3 of us finished above 100 points, which might be a first, I want to say. AJ led by 3 at the BAFTAs, but there was only 2 points separating us and the Spirits. 1 point separating us at the 4 guilds that we cover. We all got the same at the Globes. And yeah, combined with the TV, there was a 6-point spread on Critics' Choice. So, in all honesty, you know, we must be getting somewhat good if the general sort of spread of the scores is very, like, only 1 or 2 points in it, sort of thing, in hindsight. So, will that carry over to next year? Who knows? You'll find out, I guess, with August. Although that technically doesn't get counted until when we get to nominations in January. So yeah, so I finished on 104, Owen 109, AJ 116 overall. But yeah, as I say, the fact that all three of us got over 100, I would say, is glory enough as well. Considering how usually one of us only maybe just about gets 100, the fact that all three of it cleared it relatively far. Me trying to say that 4 points over 100 is like whatever. So yeah. With that, hope you all have enjoyed the season. Regardless, I'm trying to work out what the big moment from it this time was. My only guess is the sort of the closest thing is the Chalamet car crash. Not that it's supposed to be a good thing, but like there was no sow, there was no donkeys with headphones, there was no sort of anything else. There was no Hans Zimmer honking, you know. It was like unofficially it might be all hail Matt Johnson, but we'll have to wait 12 months for that to might be a proper thing. Although if the Academy acknowledge that, I'll be bloody amazed. But we can hope. Take us out, Owen.
Gladly. So thanks everyone for joining us this whole season. We had a blast. This was a fun time. Completely polar opposite of last year, and we roll on with another season starting in a couple months. And in the next few months, maybe you'll have news, maybe I won't. I guess you'll have to wait and see. So that's going to be your season. Thanks everyone for joining us live or in archive. Cassie, Brian, Josie, Smurfy, Gabriel, everybody that's joined us this whole season, thank you for tuning in. And we will see you on March 31st for another hangout. And we will be doing 2 shows monthly. So yeah, one in the middle, one in the end. So that's going to be fun. Leading us all the way up to August, where we go at it for the top 8 one more time.
At some point,
thanks everyone for watching.
At some point, we also might be time traveling because the 2009.
Yeah, we're going back to 2009 again, and that will happen at some point as well. So looking forward to that. AJ's movie reviews, double feature, other segments on this channel from him will be returning in the very near future. I sense catch-up videos coming up after this Oscar season's over. Now Oscar season's over, we're going to probably start getting more content. AJ will also be joined by Ashley content, so we're going to be seeing more gaming, more snack stashes, more regular Ashley content coming your way. I'll continue mine because I seem to be getting a plethora of it. I don't know if I can get us all the way to Horror Nights like I thought I could, but we'll have to wait and see. Lots of Voices content, Water Parks content in July, like always, and so much more coming from me as well. Follow Ashley on X at Ash is my name UK. Follow me on X at Sir Owen Disney. And that is your season, everyone. So as always, remember to stream Water Parks. Always remember to have the best day ever. 'Tis the season after all. Let the Marty party continue forever. And in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until next year, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.